皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Sunshine Show. I'm your host Shogo from Let's Ask Shogo, and this is Sunshine Show.
Sunshine です。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いいたします。This is going to be another video we're going to be filming together.
Yes, our second video.
Exactly, just like I said at the end of the first video. In this video, I want you to introduce some of the actual Rakugo stories.
Sure.
So the first video, I'm pretty sure many people already fallen in love with Rakugo, so interested, eager to watch, right?
Oh, so yeah.
From here, I want people to actually learn more about what the Rakugo stories are.
What the stories,
right?
sure.
Yeah. And what's amazing, we were just talking about earlier before we started filming, you're actually going to be doing some of the Rakugo for us, right? In a shorter version.
After watching the first video, I'm sure you're curious about what Rakugo is really like, right? In this video, Sunshine, professional Rakugo storyteller, will perform 2 classic Rakugo stories for us in English. After each story, he'll also explain some key points to help you enjoy Rakugo even more, so make sure to watch until the end. Before we have Sunshine demonstrate Rakugo, let's first understand how it's performed.
With Rakugo, the first part is called a makura, which is the pillow. And that's basically like stand-up comedy. It's just little jokes, but it's also cultural explanations. You want them to get a background so that they can enjoy the story that's coming. And a lot of times people, when I'm doing the makura, when I'm doing the introduction, I'm actually feeling out the audience and deciding the story.
Okay.
But I don't go out necessarily with which story I'm going to do in mind.
Okay.
The first part of Rakugo is called the makura. In this part, the Rakugo performer shares jokes and stories that help prepare the audience for the main topic later on. These stories often include historical or cultural details to enhance the audience's understanding and enjoyment. Based on the audience reactions, the performer decides which story to tell next. That's why the short videos Sunshine often uploads to Instagram and TikTok are almost always makura, the opening part of a Rakugo performance.
And then the second part of the story is called Hondai, which is the main story. And that's when you're actually playing characters and every story ends in a punchline. And that's the story that we're taught by our masters and the other masters that have been passed down through the generations.
The next part is the main part of Rakugo, called Hondai. In this section, the Rakugo performer tells one of the 300 classic stories that have been passed down for generations. The final part is the ochi, which is the punchline of the story. Then, let's have Sunshine tell the makura of the first story.
First one is about 3.5 minutes long, and it's called the Miso beans.
Miso beans.
Miso beans.
Okay.
So right now, in the modern age, we go to the store and we buy miso paste. And you use miso paste to make miso soup and then other dishes. But in the Edo period, they used to make miso at home. And the way you make miso is you boil the soybeans until they turn to mush, and then you add whatever the other ingredients are. But apparently, snacking on these beans as they were being boiled was something in Japanese you say tsumami gui. Tsumami is like pinching something, and gui is eating. So pinching and eating, tsumami gui. Stealing some of the beans was apparently very popular. And so it's a very cute little story about Sarakichi, little kid, and his master and the miso beans.
Then, please enjoy Miso Mame by Katsura Sunshine Show.
Sarakichi! Oi, Sarakichi! Yes, Master Sarakichi. I want you to go into the kitchen and see if the miso beans are boiling. Yes, Master. Oh, miso beans. Miso beans. I love miso beans. Ooh, that's very hot. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. Delicious. Sarakichi, what are you doing? I think the beans are ready, Master. What do you mean you think the beans are ready? Who told you to eat the beans? I did not say eat the beans. I said see with your eyes if the beans were boiling. Put those things away, Sarakichi. I have a job for you to do. I want you to take this letter across the street to Saranobu-san. Hurry up. Hurry up. That's Sarakichi. Always stealing the miso beans. You would think I was raising a thief in the house. However, those beans did look very good. I may try some myself. Yes, yes. Oh, very good. Excellent. Very, very good. Good. But if Sarakichi comes back and sees me eating these beans, he'll say something like, Master, you told me not to eat the beans and now you're eating the beans. I will never hear the end of it. I should hide somewhere and eat these beans. Where can I go? Upstairs? Nah, upstairs. Sadakichi will come running up the stairs and find me. The closet? No, the closet is dark and there's no way out. There must be somewhere I can go. Somewhere I can be alone. Somewhere where no one would think of coming to find me. I know. The toilet. It's a good place. Yes. Yes. Oh, delicious. Very, very good. Doesn't smell very good, but what can you do? Master, I'm home. Master, it's me, Sadakichi. Master. Oh, my master's not here. Now's my chance. Miso beans. Yes, yes. Oh, very hot. Oh, very hot. Delicious. Delicious, but if my master comes back and sees me eating these beans, he'll say something like, Sadakichi, I thought I told you to stop. He'll be very angry. I should hide somewhere and eat these beans. Where can I go? Upstairs? No, upstairs. My master might be taking a nap. He'll wake up and find me. The closet? No, the closet is dark and there's no way out. There must be somewhere I can go. Somewhere I can be alone. Somewhere where no one will think of coming to find me. Oh, I know. The toilet. That's a good place. Yes. Master, Sadakichi, what are you doing here? I brought you another bowl of beans.
Everyone, please give a round of applause.
So that's Miso beans. The first Rakugo story I ever memorized. Because it's story, I said I'm going to do short versions of the stories, but that's actually the story. That's it. That's the whole story. Yeah. That's a very short story. Most of the stories are at least twice as long, if not 3 times, 4 times. But that's actually a very compact story.
Sunshine explained that Misomame is a great example of Rakugo.
It's very, very classic Rakugo in this way. That something happens once, and then it happens again, but everything goes wrong. That's very classic Rakugo style. So the master goes to the toilet and hides and is eating the beans, and then the kid comes back and goes through the same, so the lines even repeat themselves, and he goes, now what goes wrong? The master's already in the toilet. But everybody, when I do it in front of audiences, like, I should hide somewhere and eat these beans as soon as you say that. Exactly. People are already laughing. They don't necessarily know the punchline, but they know where this is going. And kind of knowing where it's going and yet not really being sure of the punchline and still being surprised by the punchline, that's very classic Rakugo. That's 100%, that is Rakugo in a nutshell right there.
One key feature of Rakugo is the repetition of the same situation. Even though we know what's going to happen, we don't always know exactly how the punchline will come. This is a big part of what makes Rakugo funny.
And the other thing is another classic Rakugo part of it is that you have in Japanese joge kanke. So you have the master, and when I say master, he's probably like the owner of a store, and the kids didn't go to school in the Edo period, they apprenticed. So this little kid just probably helps out at the store. One day he'll grow up and he'll be the manager of his own store, so that kind of thing. That's the way people were educated, right, in that day. So the master's here, and the kid's here in the hierarchical structure. And, you know, he gets upset once, doesn't get lost. When he comes back, he does the same thing. But the child comes up with a very clever line in the end, so it kind of reverses the hierarchical structure. Outsmarted in a way, kind of, you know, you can't get mad at him if he's bringing him another bowl of beans, right? Exactly. That is very, very classic Rakugo. It's like overturning the hierarchical structures, yeah.
Another common feature in Rakugo is that, in the punchline, the person in a lower social position often says or does something clever. This highlights the humor in the power dynamics. There's a reason why Sunshine especially likes this story.
The reason I really love this story is because there's a lot of actions in the story. Not all Rakugo stories are using the props and actions to that degree, but this one, that's kind of part of the main part of it, right? Okay. So you have you're imagining opening the pot, but then you've got the kind of ladle or spoon, whatever it is, you put it in here, so the fan becomes that. I would usually have the tenugui, the hand towel in here, and I take it out. I want you to take this out. But because I put it to my side, I first put it in here and take it out to mimic taking it out. Rakugo is very interesting because you don't have to hide things. I'm taking it here, but I'm talking. I said, wait, I want you to take this letter across the street. But I put it in here to mimic taking it out, anyway.
Yeah,
Because why would I be picking up a letter off the floor? Like, right? No, I just put it up here. Yeah, and then just put it back. But everybody sees the letter in the hands of the kid, even though I'm just putting it to my side.
Since hand towels and fans are commonly used in Rakugo, this story is perfect for beginners to practice their movements. How you handle the props is one of the reasons why Sunshine loves Rakugo.
My favorite part of Rakugo when I was watching it for the first time is like, this is how when someone comes to the door, they go like this. Konnichiwa! Iteru ka? Konnichiwa! They don't hide this. Yeah, I'm making the sound with my sense. If I have the kendai, which is the table that we use for Osaka Rakugo, then it's the same thing. It's maybe this hand I'd use the two little pieces of wood called kobuyoshi. It's like gan gan gan. But I don't need to hide this. Like everybody knows, but nobody sees this. Even though I'm doing it in front of them, nobody sees this. They see a guy knocking on a door. In Japanese, muri nashi. It's very. You're using like the path of least resistance. I'm not trying to do something to trick the audience. The audience is in the world and they're suspending disbelief anyway. And so I have no need to like hide my gimmicks or anything like that. It's like, no. This is why I'm making a sound. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about this. Just it's here, right? So there, Rakugo, that's the beauty of Rakugo there. Yeah.
The actions in Rakugo aren't easy to perform.
When I'm teaching people Rakugo, actions are hard. They look simple, but they're actually they're hard because you first have to learn the action. But here, like once I'm holding a bowl, for example, I got to keep holding it, and my fingers can't move because what is the shape of the bowl moving? No, it's a bowl, right? Now I'm fine to pick up a bowl, but now I'm concentrating on taking the lid off the pot. Well, look what happened to my hand. It's like I forgot about this. So this has to come after you. You pick up the bowl, and this doesn't move. And then I might put both hands on the bowl, and take another hand off, and then go like this, and go like this, put it in. This hand is not moving, right? And put this back, and then when I'm talking to you, I might put another hand on it. Like this exists here, even though it doesn't exist, right? Negotiating that when you're still trying to concentrate on doing it until it becomes natural, that's quite difficult. And then once you got it. Forever, right? But those are the things that I find when I'm teaching people. Those are hurdles.
Now, keeping these points in mind, let's have Sunshine perform the next story, Kohome.
Dan-san! Are you there? Dan-san! Who is it? Oh, I was wondering who it was. It's you, Kiroku. Come on in. Dan-san! I have a question for you. A question. Yes. I would like you to tell me how I could get someone to buy me a cup of sake. How you get someone to buy you a cup of sake? Well, why don't you buy them a cup of sake first? Yes, Dan-san, you're right. I see. Dan-san, I have another question. How would I get someone to buy me a cup of sake before I buy them a cup of sake? Oi, Kiroku. You should not be hoping that people buy you a cup of sake if you are not willing to buy them a cup of sake first. No. It's not that. Of course, I will buy them the second cup of sake. I'm wondering how to get the first cup of sake without investing the cup of sake by myself in the first place. Investing. You don't think about it that way. All right, I see what you mean. Well, the best way in that case, if you want someone to buy you a drink, you have to make them like you. Make them like me. How do I do that? Well, for example, start with a compliment. A compliment, yes. People love getting compliments. You give them a compliment, you make them feel good, they like you, they buy you a cup of sake. Really? Well, what kind of compliment? Well, let's say age. Age, yes. Everyone likes to look younger than they actually are. So what you do is you ask them their age and then you say, oh, amazing, and you compliment them on your age. For example, let's say you see Sadanobu-san, and you say, Sadanobu-san, how old are you? I'm 52. What would you say? Oh, Sadanobu-san, 52. Amazing. Really amazing. You do not look a day over 52. No. You can't keep the age the same. I told you, they like to look younger. All right. Let's make this simpler for you, Kiroku. Subtract 10 years. Subtract 10 years, yes. Sanosa, amazing. You look fantastic for your age. 52, I would never have believed it. You do not look a day over 42. Do you see? I see. But Dan-san, how do I go around Osaka looking for someone who's exactly 52 years old? no. This works for any age. Any age, yes. Just subtract 10 years. Really? So what if they're 62? You say, you don't look a day over 52. What if they're 72? You don't look a day over 62. What if they're 82? 72. 92. 82. 102. Kiroku. If you meet a man in Osaka walking around the street who's 102 years old, you should be buying them a cup of sake. That's all you have to do. Go out, try it. All right, Dan-san. Yes, I think I got it. Subtract 10 years. Subtract 10 years. Thank you. You're always the best at giving people advice. Thank you. All right. That Dan-san, his advice is always so good, always so helpful. Let's see, is there anybody that I could compliment? Or wait a minute. There's my friend Machan. Oh, and he's with his daughter Akiko-chan, and that must be their new baby. Oh, Machan. Oh, Kiroku. Thank you so much for coming to my house a month ago. Yes, for my 37th birthday. Yes, thank you for inviting me. Mata, I have a question for you. A question? What's your question? How old are you now? I'm 37. You came to celebrate my birthday 1 month ago. You know. 37 years old. 37 years old. That is a shock to me. Whoa. Why? You know I'm 37. You came to my house for my birthday. Oh, Machan. No, to see you, I would only be believing that you are not a day over 27 years old. Oi, you know I'm 37. What are you going on about? This is not happening the way I want it to. Hello, this is your daughter, Akiko-chan. Hello, Akiko-chan. How old is Akiko-chan now? Oh, she's already turned 12. 12 years old. She looks so young for 12 years old. Oh. How young can she look? She does not look a day over 2 years old. Oi! How can a 12-year-old look like a 2-year-old? You're talking nonsense. Yes. This is not the proper conversation. Wait a second, Machan. Oh, your new baby here. Oh, your new baby. How old is your baby? Oh, how old is my baby? Oh, born 6 months ago. 6 months? 6 months? He looks so young for 6 months. Oi. Look young for 6 months. How much longer can he look? He looks like he will be born next week.
Everyone, please give another round of applause.
That's a short version of that story.
Yeah.
It's called kohome, which is complimenting children.
Complimenting children. This is more, you said when we started, more of a, should I say, talking type of story?
Yes. So there are not really too many. You're not using this, the props, and it's more of a talking story. But you see the same thing. Like he's taught how to do something, and then he screws it up the second way. So it doesn't happen twice, but it happens like they acted out when he's getting the advice. And then when he actually goes and does it, it gets turned around. He makes mistakes. That's where the humor comes. So again, a very common pattern for Rakugo.
I really felt that acting as two different people just by turning your head is difficult. Is that true?
That's hard. And what people tend to do is, like, you can see that the head movement is actually quite subtle. A lot of people tend to go, Mata! Oh, they're moving their head way too much. They're moving their bodies. Like, it's just a very subtle back and forth. So you don't have to. People get it in their head that you're turning back and forth, so that's the important thing. The important thing is really that people can distinguish the characters. So a slight movement of the head and a little bit of different expression is all you really need. People say, "Oh, you changed your voice like that to act like a kid," or to. You're not actually changing the voice level that much. Like if you go back to the miso beans, it's like Saraki, yes, master. My smile becomes like a kid. My posture becomes like a kid. My maybe the intonation becomes like a kid, but I'm not changing the pitch of my voice to make it higher for the kid, right? Okay. Sarakichi, yes, master. It's almost the same. So that's something you fool people to think you're changing your voice. You're not changing your voice very much, but it's the cadence. It could be more feminine. Like if I was gonna play a woman, I'd put my hands here. Oh, Uncle Masakatsu, this is terrible, right? It's that, but the voice doesn't actually change. But it's just the feeling of it.
Even though a professional Rakugo storyteller like Sunshine Show makes it seem like he's moving his body a lot or changing his voice to act out different characters, the changes are actually kept to a minimum. This helps keep the storytelling smooth and natural. Another thing I felt was, isn't it difficult to translate everything into English? You have to remember, these classical Rakugo stories were originally told in Japanese.
It's actually not difficult at all. It's actually just a straight translation. And the reason is this. The humor comes from the situation.
Okay.
So there is a bit of wordplay in Rakugo, and those things are hard to translate. And if you skip that, 95% of the humor in Rakugo is just the situation. All you have to do is convey the meaning of what's happening. Okay. As long as people know the situation, then what happens? For example, go into the kitchen and see if the miso beans are boiling.
Yeah.
I don't need to say anything more complicated than that. It's not a funny line.
Okay,
but it sets up, the miso beans, and then it's to the toilet, and I brought you another bowl of beans. And, or like, I should hide somewhere and eat these beans. That's where people start laughing. But why are they laughing? It's not because I should hide somewhere and eat these beans. That's not a funny line. The situation's funny because the master is already hiding. Oh, the same thing's going to repeat himself. Exactly. So it doesn't matter what words I use as long as it's the same words. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Same thing with complimenting the kids. How old are you now is a funny line when he just said, thank you for coming to my birthday a month ago when I turned 37. How old are you now? And you can see, number one, that's a stupid thing to ask because he knows. Number two, he's just really concerned about getting the lines right that Dan-san taught him. So it's just that character. But you don't need a special translation. How old are you now? That's a humorous line. I don't need to say that in a fancy way. It's just the same as it is in Japanese.
This is probably why Rakugo has continued to be loved across different eras and borders. It can actually be translated into other languages without much effort. Another question I had was, isn't it difficult to share Rakugo internationally, especially since it deals with Japan's unique historical and cultural elements?
It's actually not, and the reason is this, and I get that question a heck of a lot.
I bet so,
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Yeah.
And I had to give it some thought before I realized what the answer. And the answer is there is a lot of Japanese culture in these stories, but the humor and the enjoyment and the laughter that comes of these stories does not depend on the cultural aspects.
Okay.
Think about the two stories I just did.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, go into the kitchen and see if the miso beans are boiling. What are miso beans? Even Japanese people, you say miso mame te nani?
Yeah,
miso mame, miso beans. Miso beans don't exist actually.
Exactly.
But I think maybe you had that way of calling them miso beans in the Edo period. Maybe, I don't know. It's in the old script. But what they are is the soybeans that will turn into miso paste. So let's say that's some Japanese culture that, in the olden days they were boiling beans to make them into miso. And sometimes I explain that on stage, but I don't have to explain that.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that furthers the laughter or the funny parts of that story by knowing exactly what a miso bean is. It's like, it's a piece of food and he's eating it. And then he wants him to stop and he goes in the toilet and eats it. You could replace that food with anything. I mean, anybody can understand that story. Even if people don't understand certain parts of it like that, then that gives it more authenticity. Oh, this must be a Japanese thing. And they just relax and enjoy the story, the situation, that kind of thing, right? So I'm not too concerned about that either. Then a lot of people say, do Americans understand what a nagaya is? A nagaya is the tenement house, right? Americans don't know what a nagaya looks like. And I point out, so, do you know what a nagaya looks like? And they're like, come to think of it, no, I don't really. I just know it exists, right? But you don't need to know the tenement house and how it was arranged. All you need to know is there's a lot of different neighborhood characters that come around and funny situations happen. You don't have to know Japan to know that, right? So that's the issue there. You can enjoy parts of the stories if you know the culture, but the humor does not at all depend on knowing that culture. When I, as a Canadian, go to the UK and listen to a stand-up comedian in London, 1/3 of what's funny I don't even understand. Because I wasn't raised in the UK. So there's so much local stuff. That's not even a language barrier. That's a cultural barrier.
That's right.
But this is 400-year-old Japanese humor that's completely comprehensible in any language anywhere in the world today. It's kind of a miracle.
It is.
Surprisingly, we found out that Rakugo has almost no cultural barriers, not just language barriers. Most of it is interesting, even without knowing all the details. And in fact, the more you learn about it, the more you can enjoy and appreciate Japanese culture. I hope the charm of Rakugo has come through in this video. Please look forward to the next Last Ask Sunshine Show's video.
Thank you so much for introducing those two
My
stories,
pleasure.
guys. There's still a lot of other videos we're going to be filming from here, so we're going to move on to the next video. Then
Move on to the next video. Perfect.
Okay? For this
Cheers.
time? Thank
Yep.
you so much, Dad.
ありがとう。
ありがとうございます。